Got a little bit of lag.
Hey, can you guys hear us out there? Or are we still
I'm looking on the other side. I'm refreshing the browser. Yeah, we're live. No?
Not yet.
No, not yet. Oh, let me mute the sound because it don't matter. My speaker's off. Yeah, I like the picture you got there for it. Good.
Hey, everyone. Nice to see you this evening. We are live. Are y'all hearing us 5x5? You got good audio on us? Jason, Michael, G23, CW Longshot, HIPAA. Y'all hearing us okay?
Evening, guys. Hope you all doing good.
Now, who was AR? You said someone had a question earlier. Who was that was asking?
Hang on a second. I should have remembered, but
I'm looking too.
Yeah. Let's see. Oh, HIPAA.
Oh, okay.
Ask it.
Yeah, HIPAA. You were asking if you can use 9mm dies to reload 380 ACP, and the answer to that question is yes, partially. Sometimes you'll notice that you will run out of adjustment for your bullet seating die when you're shooting really light 115 grain. Well, no. When you're doing 380, when you're doing 80 grain bullets, you'll realize that you're going to have to lower your seating die a little lower than you normally would and use almost every bit of your bullet seating adjustment to be able to seat the bullet to the right depth. And other than that, you can use 9mm dies to do it. I just purchased 380 dies because I wanted to have the factory crimp die. And sometimes with the factory crimp die, you will run into an issue of running out of adjustment room. With using a 380 on a 9mm factory crimp. Now you can do this. You can order a 380 factory crimp die from like one of your distributors, Titan Reloading, or anyone that will sell the 380 factory crimp die separately, and then use your 9mm full length sizing die and bullet seating die.
CW says the 380 isn't tapered.
Okay. The 380 isn't tapered, but if you look at the cartridge, if you run a, if you look at it, you're going to flare the neck of it anyways, so you're not going to run into a problem. Besides that, when you're using carbide dies, you are not getting a taper anyways, because they can only make the carbide ring in the bottom of that die one size.
Yep.
So what they do is 9mm is very slightly tapered towards where the bullet goes into the cartridge, towards the mouth of the case. And what they do is with a factory or with any carbide die for 9mm is, okay, the mouth of the case should be this size. The base, the head of the case should be this size. They split the difference, and that's what the internal dimension of that carbide ring is. So you're not getting a full tapered down, but you're knocking off enough so that it will chamber in any SAMI chamber. So basically, by using a 9mm die for 380, you're not going to really have any effect with the taper or with not, because unless you're using a steel die, that it's impossible for a carbide die to taper.
Hey, yeah. Good to see you, Uncle John.
Okay, so now what we're doing is I'm throwing some powder here, and I'm going to bring you over here because I'm doing it old school with the scoops.
Mm-hmm.
I tell you what, the more I use these Lee scoops, guys, the more I really like them. It makes me feel like I'm reloading back in like the 1900s, even though I'm using plastic scoops.
I bought a set years ago. I haven't used them yet though. Big old
Oh
box.
man, I'm gonna buy some. I haven't bought them yet. I've got just the ones that come with the dies, because every Lee die comes with
Mm-hmm.
scoops, and it comes with one scoop for that caliber that'll be most relevant to that caliber, and then it also comes with like this one here throws exactly 3 point, what is it, 3 point, double verify this real quick, so I don't want to blow my face off, as JRB would say.
CW says, "Yep, just get 380 dies to load 380. That's why they make them." Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, but if you want to do it and you don't have the money to do it, that's
Yeah.
the whole point of using 9mm, brother.
If you did it
Is
before,
if you got the money, most definitely buy the die that it's made to reload. But a lot of times people don't want to spend the money. They're tight on money, especially right now.
mm-hmm. Yeah, the way things getting expensive. Mm.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's what I thought. All right. 3.3 grains. So basically, the book is calling, the Hornady 11th edition is calling for Winchester 231 for the highest charge underneath max charge. It's calling for 3.3 grains of 231, and that's what this scoop that came with Lee for the 380 dies dumps is 3.3 grains of 231. Now it may dump less or more of another one. Your mileage may vary, but I'm just telling you, for me, with this 231 that I've got here in front of me, that's what it dumps.
What's your technique to scoop, Echo?
I take a big scoop and I tap it against the side, and I try to get off what will end up on the top of the little thing, and sometimes stuff will stick there, and it usually doesn't, make the calculation plus or minus a tenth. It doesn't affect it. But
so you're confident in that scoop to be close enough to not.
Oh yeah, I would say with this powder that I'm weighing right now, this is hit every single time 3.3 grains, except for once it hit 3.4, which is still under the max for this cartridge. So with that, I got 3.3 there. I don't know if you guys can see that. I'll blow it up for you if you can't.
Got you there, John's hand loading. You need to be safe.
Yeah, you need to be safe. But the reason why Lee puts these scoops in there of a certain size is just for this reason, that they, I'm not telling anybody to go with a scoop and just go ahead and guess that this scoop's going to work. I'm not saying that at all. What I'm saying is find out what your scoop throws, find out how to use a scoop so that you get the same number every time on your scale. And once you know it and you know what it's done and you've used it a couple of times, I don't see a problem with you being reloading 380, maybe out in the woods or something, and with a scoop. That's what they're designed for. As long as you're able to get consistent results with it. If you can't, I would say don't do it. But if you can get consistent results, I would say go ahead and do it, because I'm doing it and I'm not having any issues with it.
Hey, MK Joe, good to see you. Hey, Michael Hurtnick, good to see you too. John's hand loading, DJ Play Nice, Gun Loving Grandpa. Appreciate you being here, guys.
Oh, I was going to tell everyone just give a little shout out. Our brother Dead Horse made it home from the hospital with his daughter. She made it home. So the prayers that everybody's been giving have worked. Unfortunately, though, she's going to have a what they call a risky pregnancy, because right now she's wearing a EKG to monitor her heart. And so basically, I guess the pregnancy is causing her some heart distress of some kind or another. So more or less, they're going to be keeping a close eye on her. But the prayers worked, and she's out of the hospital. She's come home, and Dead Horse wanted everybody to know that he's very thankful for everyone praying for him and his family. It helped immensely, and he's very, very appreciative. He will be kind of reaching out to people here and there once he comes up from a coma. He's been up for the last 48 hours in the hospital. And he said once he wakes up in a day and a half that he would start talking to people and letting them know what's going on with him and everybody. So he appreciates it. Thanks. That's what he wanted to get out.
Gun Loving Grandpa's got a question at me, actually, but we'll still answer it. What's the difference in the Lee Deluxe and Lee Ultimate dies? Echo knows that. I've never bought a Lee die at this point. I'm going to, but not at this point. You want to answer that?
The Ultimate, okay. The Ultimate die set is basically let's see. It's a I'm checking something. I'm looking. I'm not pausing. I'm just checking something I'm doing right now. So hold on, Gun Loving Grandpa. I'm gonna get to you just a second. You're in my brain right now. I'm just trying to seat a 380 projectile. These little tiny projectiles and bullets, they are more of a pain in the butt than I thought, because of the simple fact is you have to mess with little shell casings, little amounts of powder, and little bullets. It's enough to drive you nuts a little bit sometimes. Hold on, let me check my overall length here.
John's Handloading says the Ultimate die set comes with a neck sizing die. I think Deluxe is a 4 die set too, isn't it, Echo?
Yeah, the Deluxe is, the deal is with the Deluxe is you get the factory crimp die, you get a full length sizing die, a deadhead bullet seating die, which does not have a crimp in it, but it just seats the die or the bullet. Then it comes with a factory crimp die. Now the Deluxe model that has like the 4 die set has the full length sizing die, the deadhead bullet seating die, the factory crimp die, and hold on. This is what happens. This is why they tell you not to do more than one thing at a time when you're
Hey, how you doing, Tread? Good to see you. Lakeview, good to see you. If I missed any of you all, sorry guys. I will try to mention it. G Webs is here, of course.
Basically, the difference is in those dies packages is one comes with a neck sizing die. When you buy a Lee, what's the name of them again? Now there's because they make one called the Pace Setter. It's a two die set. They make a the Deluxe
versus the Ultimate die.
Ultimate. Okay, the Ultimate die set comes with the neck sizing die, what they call the Lee Collet neck sizing die. That die is what Lee has been really trying to push since they've developed it. It's been on the front of their reloading manual, loading manuals, plural, and is really their claim to fame for rifle rounds. Now the deluxe comes with the full length sizing, the deadhead seating die, and the factory crimp die. The ultimate, they go ahead and give you the neck collet die, and those are only available in rifle cartridges. In other words, you can't get an ultimate die set in 380 auto.
Mm-hmm.
That would be the deluxe set, and it would just come with the factory crimp.
Mm-hmm. That was a good buy on those dies, LBJ. Mm-hmm.
She's passing the plunk test and everything.
Mm-hmm.
See,
Yeah.
what we did here is, this is the barrel out of my Kimber,
Mm-hmm.
little micro Kimber 380. And this is that bullet I just ran up in the factory crimp die.
Right.
And she's 1.5 thousandths short, or shorter than what she should be. So I backed out the seating die just a tiny bit, but we got it plunks. I can roll it around in there. She's not hitting any of the rifling.
Mm-hmm.
If I can get it to spin without it gripping the case is gripping the thing. It's not the bullet, because when you pull it out, you can see the bullet has no scarring on it whatsoever. It just falls in there.
Mm-hmm.
And right on out.
Yeah.
So that's going to work. Hopefully that'll load.
Both sets are 4 die sets. Gun Loving
What'd they
Grandpa
say?
said the ultimate and the deluxe is a 4 die set. Yeah. Okay. Gun Loving Grandpa.
Yeah.
Made a comment about it earlier. Yeah, I'm gonna get a 9mm set, 4 die deluxe soon. Very soon.
Yeah, I would recommend them. They make good dies. I mean, I don't have problems, and I've bought expensive dies. I've bought cheap dies, and the old expression, it's a poor craftsman that blames his tools. After you've been doing this for a few years, that becomes really the truth. I mean, I know guys that reload ammunition as good as mine on an old beat up rock chucker in their garage. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, over the years of doing reloading, you'll find easier shortcuts to do things. And basically, it will make it, the process is some of the ones that you've done for years that you thought, oh, I couldn't live without this process. You're like, oh, well, now I've kind of realized that wasn't as important as I thought it was. See, that just came up 1/10 of a grain short. So that was kind of different. So let's go ahead and try. Helps if I scoop it the right way.
Still though, that's still good though.
Oh yeah, man. These little scoopers, they're really worth their weight in gold. If you don't have a scale handy and you know what they throw of a certain powder weight, you're not, even if, like, if I had to reload 380, I know I can do it with this powder and this scoop and get 3.3 within 1/10.
Hey, welcome, Rick's Life as I See It's here.
Good Rick's here.
I missed some of your stream here the other day.
I seen most of it in the post show. Let me make sure this is reading right. Go ahead and tear this again.
Rick's Life is what, Saturday at what time? 10 a.m. I think. I forget.
Ask Rick. I'm not sure.
Rick,
I know
what time is your stream Saturday, Rick? Give me a few minutes here to answer it. Actually, my front end side chat moves faster than the yard stream side. 3 p.m. Eastern, the only time zone that matters.
Exactly.
Never forgot that one.
Now here, this is kind of weird.
Yeah, I'll set my phone next Saturday.
I'm starting to get some really different throws on the powder now. Remember when I was just sticking a foot in my mouth? Now I must be not getting this thing full.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably what I'm doing. Sometimes you scoop, because it was fuller when I was scooping a minute ago.
Some people
I was able to get the head of it.
They'll take the credit card and then swipe it. There's different methods.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of them, but the thing is, I'm not trying to get a mound. I'm just trying to get a flush fit across there with my shitty vision. I'm going to recalibrate this scale because this is not giving me what I'm looking at. It keeps giving me 3 grains.
Who streams Wednesdays at 7 p.m., Jason? The correct way is push the scoop backwards into the powder and then lift it. Yeah, tap it. That's CW commenting on that one. I've seen people do it similar ways. Push it straight down in, raise it up. If you scoop it like a spoon or sideways, you're definitely going to vary it a little bit because you're pressure on that thing. That's amazing. The side chat moves like lightning. The StreamYard side don't. Ain't that strange?
Well, yeah, it moves slower because there's a delay.
Yeah, the lag. Delay.
Okay, so he's saying go straight down in there and pull it straight back up. And it's not, that doesn't, oh, here, hold on. Let me try it like this. There we go. That's giving me what I was normally getting before as I fight this freaking pan.
You need to get your little bowl.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good idea. What I need to do is move this gosh darn scale where I can use it, and I feel like I'm like trying to move all this crap around. See, that's 3, 4. I need to get this over here is what I need to do. This is pissing me off.
I got a little stainless steel bowl I bought. Almost looks like a stainless cat bowl I bought a few years ago in a store. I forget. And I bought it for stuff like that. It's got rubber so it don't slide around. A little stainless steel bowl with a rubber bottom. This would make a great scoop. Or bowl for a scoop. Right now I'm using it for bump back too far shoulders on 2, 3. Just there, Rick does. Oh, he does 2 shows. I didn't know that. Okay, got you, Jason.
Yeah, Rick does one on shooting with disabilities, and another one, his life as he sees it.
Yeah, I seen both. I could. Yeah, I thought they just kind of rotated in the same time slot. I didn't know that. But yeah, I got it now. Durable glass, no sparks, keep them clean, lock them out, no static. Small Pyrex bowls. CW said is good to do this with. Metal bowls are bad.
Yeah. I keep fighting this shit. It works a few times in a row, and then it starts giving me issues. I'm just like, I got too much or some shit. And it's such a little dinky amount of powder, too. I mean, I probably spilt more powder loading 458 SOCOM.
Mm-hmm. Buzzfort says he used a small plastic bow since 1977. Wow. Long time. I remember that year well. The year of Jack Daniels and Elvis Presley passing, unfortunately. Jack Daniels on my side, though. I quit that. Says plus Fort says long shot. My buddy has used a stainless bow with scoop since 1976. Good info, Fuzzfort.
Oh man, this is just going to be one of those days, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Where you've got every time you measure it, you're either a 10th high or a 10th low, and you're like, my God, man, for the love of little baby Jesus, please give me what I need. I need to get a bowl, but I don't know which one I'm going to be able to use without my wife, because I'm not going to bring it back in the kitchen. She's going to be like, where are you going with that bowl?
I think I paid $1 for this little stainless bowl or something, or $2. It probably is a cat bowl, to tell you the truth. That's what I suspect it is, with that rubber bottom on it, where it don't slide on your bench.
There we go.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
I think porcelain would work, Jason. Be fine.
Oh, let me grab this damn. All right. For the love of little baby Jesus. Now everything's playing with me. See what happens, Mr. Rick?
What did it get just getting 1/10 of a grain off?
What now?
I said, is it just getting 1/10 of a grain off? Varying with you?
Yeah. Now I just filled it up. And so now we're going to go throw a primer in here and flare another case, because apparently my self did not remember to do that part first. So first off, I'm going to even brush out this case because of what I discovered. Brushing the insides of these cases reduces the amount of friction that it takes to seat a bullet quite a bit.
Are they range brass?
No, this is all brand new, 100 pieces of Starline.
And you still run the brush through it?
Yep, because what you're getting is anything that might be in there from factory as well.
Yeah.
You know, you're just brushing it to make sure that the surface is completely clean.
Yeah, that's what I got. Fuzz fork, steel cat bow. Says AR guns, you can't hear that dog. It's hard on us. We are using headphones. Yeah, I'm using headphones too with a cheap mic. That's why it's making noise.
God dang it.
I apologize for that.
These primers.
I got a cheap condenser mic and it picks up everything. I mean, we're talking probably $3 from China. Shut up, dog. He's bad about this at night. Hang on, guys. I'll go put him in the doghouse and shut him up. I'll be right back. There you go.
Yeah, brother. All right, so now I'm figuring that out, I guess. That little doohickey thing that Lee's got there that you spill like every other primer. I don't have the damn pistol primers to be doing all that with. But whatever. I think I know where it went. Sounded like it went up underneath my bench. Made a ding noise. All right. Oh yeah, nice and spacey there. bullet seating die. All right, now we need is throw some powder in this little thing. Throw a little powder. That's a little bit hotter than I like. It's went up to 3.4 sitting on there. Let's make sure we don't have a fluctuation in the scale. No, seems like it's just going to be, one of these is going to be a little warmer. Just a tad bit. Grab a projectile. Go ahead and just sticking this bullet in. Now we're pulling it back around here. I'm going to check the length of it, and then I'll go ahead and crimp it. Yeah, it's a little bit of dead air there. I'm trying to get this damn primer in flush. Yep, and I'm a 0.5 off. 0.979 and 5/10,000ths. What I'm looking for is 9.980 for the overall length, and that's 9.9795. So, and we may even get that back when we factory crimp, because sometimes the factory crimp die will add or subtract 1/1000th of an inch depending on how the bullet is sitting in there. Let's see. Hold it down. See what we get out of there.
That should be better on the barking, guys.
Did you go out there and put a round off?
I brought him in the house, in this big dog house in the bathroom. He just does this every night. Hopefully in a few weeks, maybe a little longer, I'm gonna get quite a bit of audio equipment coming in. And, it'll be a dynamic mic, and you won't be able to hear background noise anymore.
Yeah, see what that did when I ran it through the factory crimp? It put it to 9.980, which is exactly the overall length we're looking for with a 100 grain bullet.
Mm-hmm.
And a nice little piece of crimp there up on there. You can almost see that crimp. Can you see that right there on that edge? It's extremely polished. What you're looking for is just, and you want to run your finger over it and feel. There's not much. You can hardly feel the actual brass from where that taper crimp just squeezed it. Because what this die does is it forces this whole end of the bullet of the cartridge through a carbide ring, which the further you crank the top of the die down is further it's going to push this bullet up into this tapered carbide ring, and it just basically smushes it all. The further you push it up, the more it smushes everything to a certain size and gives you nothing on that, hardly, just enough so that when you drop it, you hear it clank because it hits hard there, and you can spin it, and you're not running into any rifling. You're just running into the actual brass dragging inside the stainless steel barrel at the end of its chamber, where the chamber is stopped, where it cuts. It's got a ridge 90-degree coming up where the edge of the brass hits it. Instead of measuring off of the shoulder datum line, it measures off of the end of the brass. That's why we got to make sure we still have a lip there, just not one that's going to impede loading by coming out of the magazine and up the feed ramp of the weapon and into the barrel, or out of the magazine directly into a barrel that is somewhat throated at the edge. A lot of these 380s are like that. They won't have a feed ramp on the older ones. They'll just have where it comes out of the magazine, and the barrel will be slightly throated so it can drop in, very much like a 1911. The newer ones you're seeing nowadays have feed ramps because they've found out using hollow point ammunition, feed ramps work really well. All right, one more round, and then we're just then we can have a little chat on what we want to chat about, what you guys want to talk about.
See, Debbie cut out here a little earlier. I was gone, couldn't say good night.
What did he leave? Did he?
Just somebody said good night to him earlier. Have a good night.
Oh, he's just taken off?
Yeah, actually, I can look and see the time on the yard stream. Yeah.
Let's see, what am I doing here? Let's see.
Just a pain to scroll. Yeah, I'm at 75. Yeah, I remember bicentennial. My daughter was a bicentennial baby. That's your alarm, isn't it? Oh, he said he's still here. He's loading. Oh, okay.
Oh, he's loading. Awesome. What is he loading?
What you loading, CW? I like doing that, listening to a stream or something, just messing around on the bench, too.
Oh, I didn't like to hear that. I got a little issue going on over here.
What happened?
I had a primer get sideways. I'm thinking it's not wanting to come out. So what I'm guessing is I can't take it out that way. So what I'll do is I'll bring it over here to my universal decapping press, and I'll bring it up in here, and I'll pop me a live primer out with my eyes over the. Oh, there it goes.
Jesse B. Outdoors is in the house. Welcome, Jesse. Stopping by for a few minutes, he says. Great to have you.
I don't know what happened there. That was kind of mysterious. Hey, Jesse B. Outdoors, what's going on, brother?
Yeah, I can't wait to trash these headphones. This junk.
Listen to you.
They're horrible, man. with a
He's like,
dynamic
they're
mic.
horrible.
Man, dynamic mic. I can sit here with a keyboard, and you all won't even probably hear it. If you do, I doubt seriously you'll be able to hear it.
All right, what's going on? That primer went in all right. Oh, it's okay. I see what they're doing. They're sitting up high. Why are they sitting up so damn high? Make sure this primer cup is moving the way it's supposed to be.
I wish you could get your camera from a side angle there when you're reloading so we could see you better.
Yeah, I'm trying to get us back over to where I'm at because I've been over here like an idiot for 10 minutes and I just realized the camera wasn't. Okay, this is what's going on, folks, over here. I got a high primer there, which is ridiculous. So I'm going to see if I can smush her back down in there. Well, I didn't like that sound. That shouldn't be making a noise like that, seating a primer. Seems like it's flush now, but... That was one stiff primer pocket. Hope it didn't bend my brass case.
Either primer spec was off a little from the factory, or the brass primer pocket was a little off spec, maybe.
Yeah. I don't understand why that thing's doing that.
Jason says, so does the Lee Prime system sucks.
What, on the turret press?
Yeah, I think he's asking.
I don't know of any press that works on any type of, I don't know of any priming system that works on a press except for a progressive. And even some of those aren't some of the best. I prefer to use a dedicated priming system. You know, it's just me. What I'll do here, though, to make sure we don't got any problems is I'll dump the shell holder to make sure there's no little pieces of brass. Blow it out. Take this out. Basically run the cup up and try to wipe this out. That way, if anything was in there, it will come out.
Yeah, G23, I just did a refi. Talking about buying a home. I got an interest rate of 2.99 on 30, which is pretty good, they say. Stay home until we see what this is doing. I get that home. Well, prices, I've read today the housing market may crash again. The house prices are
That's what they're saying.
That's
what they're saying. They're saying.
But one thing good is the interest rate are very low right now. If you can get locked into that, that's a good thing.
Check this piece of brass.
Yeah, market crashes. G23 houses will be dirt cheap. For sure. That's weird though, having two housing bubbles this close together. I don't know if it'll happen, but just because they say it will, don't mean it will. They warned, in 08, they warned for years it was going to happen, and it took a long time to happen.
Oh yeah, everybody was trying to sell their houses and get out. They thought the end was coming. And I knew of a lot of people that ended up losing their asses because it never crashed. And then all of a sudden it did finally crash. and they were sitting there holding the bag because they got limited, because at the time they sold their houses, they didn't get full market value because they were impending doom. Sometimes that stuff can be made so it doesn't crash right away just by sometimes adjusting
I like to get
interest and stuff like that. The government will falsely inflate things so that to prevent a crash, usually during a certain person's election or something, they'll work it so that the market stays together for a little bit longer.
What I'm wanting to do is eventually sell this place and go out more in a rural area, get out of a neighborhood. I'd love to have enough land to at least shoot a handgun on.
Yeah, that would be nice.
I'd love to have at least a 100-yard rifle too, but that's may not be possible. I've got a place I could buy, but the problem is the land is 11 acres, deer everywhere. It's across the street from, I mentioned it to you, Echo, across the street from Hank Jr.'s daughter's husband, his son-in-law. He owns the land, but it's got a covenant, and they can't sell it. They have to pay cash for it.
Yeah.
And so, in other words, the finance company won't cut them a check. Yeah, somebody has to literally take cash to them, individual. Mortgage company not allowed to do it because the covenant was broke, which is a shame. I like it there too, boy.
Well, they're trying to keep developers off the property. That's all that is.
I'm going to go out there and do some shooting videos with my great-grandson, 8 years old, when he gets well. Everybody's still sick in the family. I've been out there shooting them one time during the holidays, but I'm going to go out there and spend a few hours, do some video.
Yeah, well, everybody's out there praying in the house for Dead Horse's family. Keep praying for AR's daughter and her family and his grandkids, and I believe great-grandkids.
Yeah.
They all have the new COVID-19 Delta variant, and they've been very sick. So everybody keep them in your prayers, please.
Thank you. Yeah, my daughter, it's been hitting her hard. Constant headache, weak, breathing. My granddaughter's 25. Great-grandson, he's been headaches. 8-year-old boy usually don't have headaches. He does.
My God. You know what, AR? I'm not liking these little 380s very much at all. These things can be a little bit of a pain in the ass, these bullets.
9mm is about my limit. I like 40 better than 9, but I know I know how they view a 40. But I love a 40 handgun, 40 S&W. And I like that, brass is not tapered. I like that in the 40. But 9 seems to be everybody's favorite. But I don't see the 40, to me, with the guns I've shot, I've never had a problem with the recoil. Granted, it's probably not quite as on target as a 9 would get, though. I know that for a fact. But,
40 is very accurate. I mean, I've never had a problem with a 40. You shoot the right 180 grain, 185 grain bullet, you don't have no problems with a 40.
Uncle John.
It's just the thing is with the 40 is it's just got that snap. It's got a little bit more violent recoil pulse than the 9mm. And my favorite is the 45 ACP because its pulse is so mellow. It's like it's a nice shove on your wrist, and it's not a something that feels like it's gonna snap so hard that it's gonna make your eye teeth loose.
Uncle John says, "Good luck, AR. Not a scandamony. Read that again. Let's see. Scandectomy. Okay. Now they're sick. most of the doctors they've seen says they got the thing. One doctor says no, and that doctor don't know what he's talking about. You don't get six, four, five, six people in a family with flu in the friggin' summertime, and it goes on for weeks and weeks. I mean, that's nonsense. But my daughter's had it unfortunately before, and I knew she had it here a few years ago. She got tested, and the what you call it, the antibody test, and sure enough, it showed that she had it in the past. But that test is foolproof. The positive and negative test is it tests negative a lot, and it tests negative with a new virus, probably even more. They say. But enough of that. Food can decline also. Do not put all your eggs into one basket. Yeah, I need to start stockpiling some food. I want to get a steamer, not to change the subject. I'm going to get a steamer, start canning some chicken and beef and everything in mason jars. You cook it right there in the canner, and it stays fresh for years. So how's it doing now, Echo?
It's hitting dead nuts. Where we got a camera right there, so let me grab the thing. Okay, what I'm looking for is 0.980, and I'm getting 0.9795. So that's almost perfect. Yeah. And what I wanted to see here is before I factory crimped it, if I throw it into the 380 ACP, oh yeah, look at that. It drops right in into the without the factory crimp.
Wow. Yeah, that's what I was wondering earlier. Yeah, Rick.
Or maybe, hold on.
I know what you mean by arthritis problems.
Oh, yeah.
I got joint arthritis, but enough of that. So it actually does, huh? That's good.
Yeah, it drops down in there. I mean, it didn't even really.
Cool.
You know, that was it, the crimp coming loose. We're right there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've got the Reading 9mm steel die, and it just does not size down enough like it should. But, on 9mm, but it is what it is. It fits the preacher. He's canning like a madman.
Yeah. He's what? He's canning like a madman.
This fits preacher. He's canning like a madman. Yeah, that meat, man. They say you cook it right there in those pressure steamers, cookers, and they, man, it's just great for years. Pull it right out and it's fresh.
Really, what I need to do is take a couple of these rounds out into the backyard.
Mm-hmm. Can you do that there where you're at?
I can, but I will have the cops show up. It's legal to discharge a pistol in your backyard in St. Petersburg.
Mm-hmm.
It's just illegal if you don't have the proper backstop and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, if I was shooting it into a wet Orlando phone book, it would be fine because a wet Orlando phone book's almost 5 inches thick, and it will stop anything.
Cool. Yeah, canning supplies.
What I'm looking for here is a little bitty. I'm wondering if I'm hitting my rifling there.
Oh, I seen a great shotgun I like this week, Sunday at a academy in Athens. Weatherby semi-auto, Cerakote gray, had the sweetest slick action I've ever seen, Echo. Almost like it's
Yeah.
chrome lined. I mean, it was nice looking. 12 gauge with choke inserts you could change out. 5.99. I haven't liked a shotgun in a long time like that. I used to be a pump guy, So now, give me the gas. It kicks a little less. Shoot fast.
Yeah, it almost feels like I'm hitting the rifling
Hmm.
with this bullet.
Same length.
Yeah, same damn length. Just freaking
Is that what the
think I'm
book
hitting
calls
the
for?
what?
What does the book call for on that length? Same.
Well, I mean, these bullets aren't. I don't know who makes these
Oh, okay.
bullets.
Sounds like you may need to
Um,
shorten them up then a little bit.
yeah, it seems like I may need to because .980 is. It seems like it's. Let me see if you can see this. Can you see on the tip of the bullet anything?
Let's see. Blow your screen up. Well,
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
yeah, I've got mine blown up here, but might help me a little
I'm
more.
blowing. It's not doing nothing.
Yeah, not that kind of blow. Better be careful there, Echo. Don't talk about you in a side chat. But let's see. What are you seeing? What you want?
I'm seeing like a couple little nicks. You know what I probably should do is cover this all in black.
Yeah.
And turn it like that and see if I could see anything.
Yeah.
Let me get the Ninjutsu marker from Ninjutsu. Do you have any of these Ninjutsu markers?
Hey, LBJ, I'm doing a similar thing you're doing. I'm knocking out a wall between my living room and kitchen to make it an open floor plan.
LBJ, I'm knocking out all my wife's teeth.
Luckily, I got engineered trusses, and it's not load bearing, they say.
Yeah, I don't want to be doing nothing with a load bearing wall. Anything load bearing, I'm like, oh, stay away from that.
I mean,
that costs money when you mess up.
If you look at mine, it's load bearing, but it's also engineered. Engineered means it didn't need it. I actually went online, looked at the manufacturer. He said it's good for 30 feet. In my house,
you're good for 30 pounds on the roof if you take that one out.
My trusses are good for a 30-foot length span, open floor plan, and then they got others that go higher and higher and higher.
I got that new rating of truss called the rot trust. They just use rotten wood. They're just like, yeah, we figure you'll be dead by the time this collapses on you.
Rick says, Echo, get a 5-gallon bucket full of sand, fire it into right there in the room. Just protect your ears. Boy, that would be a
I think my wife would come in and be like, here you go. Yeah. Boom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that is a good. I mean, I should just run out there and pop one in the dirt. I'm looking around left and right. I'm over here doing this. Look at this. I'm over here doing this, guys.
I've done it.
I'm over here looking. I'm looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody looking? I'll just put.
I used to occasionally, even in Walnut Grove, I used to call it Little House on the Prairie. That's where my brother lives, not far from me. I used to go out occasionally and shoot into the woods or whack a stop sign years ago with 357. Time or two. Unfortunately, in this county, it's 500 feet from my house. This is a little. That's crazy. Back in the 1960s, I could go outside and shoot right there, and it didn't matter. They didn't bother you back in those days.
So let me get this straight. So if you go to shoot somebody, you got to tell them to back up. Hey, be like, you need to back up at least 500 feet. You know what I'm saying? And they're like, 500 feet. And I'm like, yeah, you got to be 500 feet. And they're like, it's a law. And they're like, oh, okay. So they walk up 500 feet. Now what happens? Bam.
500 feet from the house. That's quite a distance.
Okay, guys.
I only got like a half acre here, but it also helps me with taxes though, because a half acre since I'm retired.
All right, let's see here.
Let's see what you got.
You see any of that blue cut?
It's kind of unfocused. I mean, it's not focused, so I can't tell. I don't see anything though. There it is. Now clear. Now turn it. I don't see any marks, but no scratches, which would go.
Oh, there'd be a scratch.
Yeah, it'd go horizontal if I seen them, probably. Yeah, looks okay. If you thought it was or did, I would back it down a couple of thou. Be safe, but that's just me.
Well, I mean, I can still turn it. I mean, it's not like it's grabbing and going like that. I think what I'm feeling is the neck of the brass grabbing against the inside of the chamber, that where it stops against the chamber. I think it's just grabbing that.
Okay.
Because it's loose inside there. I mean, I can literally rattle it in there. It's almost like it's quite a bit. I mean, I'll show you guys. It's freaking ridiculous. I mean, look at this. See that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
I got a lot of room for it to expand. This brass is brand new, so she's going to be doing the old 1 ton of meta.
Is it Starline?
You know what that? You know it's it's Starline. You know all about that 1 ton of meta, don't you? Don't you, AR? The 1 ton of meta.
What is it?
You need a 1 ton of meta. Little Wyclef Jean. Little 1 ton of meta. All right, let's see. Let me run this up. I made a blue bullet. Now what? I got to watch out. I don't want anybody giving me the 1 ton of metas.
Hey, Rare Bear.
Okay, counterclockwise would put me there. That's going to put me there.
You got a good group here tonight.
Yeah, I'm really glad. Yeah, Monday nights are kind of dead everywhere else, so people will come over and check out. It's kind of a good night to do something because nobody's really doing nothing. Now, that was a factory crimp die, ladies and gentlemen, and that basically is a carbide ring inside there that I run this up into. The further you crank down on this little deal here, the further it lets this the shell plate move this cartridge case with the bullet through a carbide ring. So it makes this transition from the bullet to the actual casing very smooth, especially with a little bit of chamfer and deburring before putting the bullet in. It's as smooth as glass right there. So I know I'm not going to get any hang-ups there. So I'm very happy with that. And I'm also happy with this cartridge only takes 3.3 grains of powder.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I could literally load for days off of 1 pound of powder.
Drew says, how much it being flared before the bullet drop? That probably you're doing it by feel, aren't you?
Yeah. Basically, I'm probably just flaring it enough to actually, you want to know? I'll give you an exact. Hold on.
Just to get the bullet.
I will give you an exact measurement, sir. I can do that for you right here in Echo's reloading chamber. All right. Let's see here what we've got for the.
Us old timers don't use the gauge as much. Our calipers, we just feel. But it's great for people starting out.
Well, because we know what it's supposed to feel like, and me, I can feel better than I can see. Okay, from what best I'm getting here, ladies and gents, is 0.370.
0.5.
Okay, can you see that, AR?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're going to run this bad boy on up into this expansion die. All right, here we go. And the priming system on this press works decent. I mean, I wouldn't write a book about it, but I have used other types of presses, and their priming systems have been much worse as far as. Now, this was, what was it, 370 AR?
3705, wasn't it?
No, 70.
Yeah, it was 70. Yeah. Yeah, well, I've seen a 0.5 too there, or half, I meant.
Yeah, it says
okay.
it's saying 0.705.
Okay.
Let me see something real quick here.
CW, I like the tapered crimp better for any case head spacing on the mouth like 380.
Now, I know this is what is filling this is making this big mouth bigger than the rest of the body, because I can feel when I start getting this right close to the lip here. Hold on. Yeah, it's not saying I'm expanding this for shit. But I mean, I can feel it. I can feel the very end of the case belled very slightly. We can try to bell it a little bit more and see what we got here.
You don't reload yet, Jesse B? I was thinking you were reloaded.
I thought he did too. I thought I went to his channel.
He says, no, I'm just learning for when I get my press.
Okay. Well, that's good. We're here for everybody, brother. All right, now that I took this loose, what I wasn't really trying to do, and crank this. Come here, little man. My fingers. I got to put this piece of brass down.
It's personal preference on the taper crimp versus the Lee factory crimp die. A lot of people love that factory crimp die, and then some just like taper crimp dies. It's up to you what you want to do.
Well, the factory crimp die will taper or it will roll crimp. It's not just one or the other. If you want if you're doing 38 special, you're not going to want that roll or taper crimped. You're going to want that roll crimped. Any revolver cartridge, straight walled revolver cartridge, you're going to most likely want it to have a roll crimp versus a taper.
Yeah, I meant taper. Some people like the 9mm, anything that had space off the the head like that, like 9mm 380. Some like the taper, some like the Lee. I think both of them are good.
Well, the Lee does a taper. If you think about what it's doing, it's actually laying a taper crimp. It's not rolling the end. It's squishing the end. How was that?
Yeah, I've seen the schematic of it before.
Okay, so I can feel this, but I don't want to keep stretching this to try to measure it. I just think that it's basically what it's doing is it's expanding it because I can feel it, but I don't want to keep doing it because I don't want to cause an issue with my necks being overworked.
Yeah, Jesse B says he reloads. I thought he did. Pulling her leg.
Well, he was just joking. I was like, yeah, man, he's got a bunch of video. I was like, maybe I'm thinking of a different Jesse, but I was like, I've seen this guy's channel. I was like, yeah, Jesse, let me show you what you've been doing wrong, brother. Let me show you what you've been doing wrong. I got you covered, brother. I got you covered.
Vanessa's in the house. Hey, Vanessa.
Hey, Miss Kitty. What's going on? All right, ladies and gents. It would appear that even the purple bullet, is doing it to it.
Okay.
Okay, so we're going to turn her over to this guy right here. We're going to run this thing up. Okay. Boop, boop, boop. Oh, yeah, I know what I need to do here. You got that thing, then you push this thing,
Mm-hmm.
and it drops one right in there just like it did. Look at that. Once you know how to do it, you don't drop primers. The only problem is I have 100 bullets, 100 primers, and 100 cases. So if I bust one of these primers or it, if something like I lost one already, it already fell out. So I got to look for it on the ground or I'm going to have 99 pieces of brass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, CW, I know what you mean. Lee confuses the fudge out of new loaders because they name all their things factory crimp, but they also make it for that particular round though to work right. But yeah, got you on that. I remember when I first started looking into them, I was kind of like, what? You know.
My wife telling me to keep it down. She's going to bed, so I need to keep it down.
You need to soundproof your wall.
I know. She's like, no. She's going to bed. She can hear me when she's in the living room.
Oh. Okay.
I'm not soundproofing nothing. I'm going to put on some ACDC. I'm going to turn it up to about level 12. And I'm going to put on a set of Bose headphones. I'm going to put them on her ears. Put maybe a little skinny puppy.
Hell's Bells or Thunderstruck. Still my favorite.
Thunderstruck.
Yeah. But a factor, let's see, yeah. CW says a factor crimp die is a collet. It's not a taper or roll.
What is he saying?
He says, but a FCD factor crimp die is a collet. It's not a taper. No, but it does have a taper near the top of the 9mm on this 9mm, according to what I looked at on the spec.
What you're talking about, but CW, what it's doing is it's got a collet. It's got four individual pieces, right? And look at me, I look like I've got mongoloid syndrome a little bit, but basically you got two that run top and bottom like this, lines. You've got two from the sides that run on this way. And then the top of the die is tapered. The top of the die is cone shaped. When that collet gets shoved up in there, it squeezes. So it's not rolling it. It's taper crimping it. It's basically flat squeezing the top of that top, and slowly as you taper from the bottom, you push up on the shell holder into the bottom of that die. It's forcing it into a tapered deal and crushing those collets squarely all the way around that die. The pistol version of it that does a taper style crimp is shoving it up into a tapered that is tighter or looser at the bottom and tightens as it goes up. So the further you shove the whole bullet and casing up in there, it squeezes the top of that neck and that bullet. That's why they tell you not to use them with lead bullets that may be a little oversized, because it will squeeze the bullet and the casing. So that's where they get the taper part of it. If they've got a roll crimp on it, when they shove it up, this causes this top edge right here to roll, I believe. I've never looked at one, so I'm just going off what I guess to be true, because you would want to have a roll crimp on a revolver straight walled cartridge. And basically that's what they do, to what I've been told. Now I've got one for 38 and 357. I also have one for 357 that is a taper. It's a taper die. and I have one that's regular roll crimp from Lee, and they're both factory crimp dies. They just call one they call it the tape. They call it a taper crimp die for the 357 maximum.
Mm-hmm. It's actually saying Lee says it's a floating crimper.
Oh, well, maybe that's what they call it, but that's what it does.
But that's just generic on their PDF on Lee Carbide factory crimp die. It says like a floating crimper in it. It's a good system.
Yeah, it works. I mean, it does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
Is it the best? No, because everything human made could be made a little better, probably, in time engineering. This is just what we have to use with up until this time. Because, I mean, the bottom line is we're still using things that were developed years ago in today's reloading practices. Dye styles, the metals that are made out of it. Nothing's really, I mean, like we haven't gone to carbon fiber dyes and stuff like that yet. Eventually, I would imagine we will probably go to some space age material. Maybe. I don't know for sure. I mean, maybe it's gone as far as it can get. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you, CW. There is some confusion with people on those dyes, but it's as long as it works. So.
Yeah, they could be a little bit more clear about what they, how they do things, but the overall thing is, if it works, it works, kind of thing.
Depends on what you like. Well, yeah. I always say nothing's concrete in reloading. People do it different ways.
They give you a lot of choices. The companies do nowadays with the type of stuff they offer everyone. So you could pretty much certain things are rules you don't want to break. But other than that, if you like a particular style die over what I like, that's like women's shoes and handbags at a certain point. Is any one die really outperforming the other one? And this is stuff you can buy off the shelf. This isn't custom made dies for specific chamber dimensions. This is just Joe Blow buying a set of dies off the shelf for him to go home and reload 9mm 45 or 380, And the bottom line is that Lee makes a decent product. So does RCBS, so does Reading, so does Lyman, and all the top manufacturers have their product, and all of them are decent. Some are better at certain things than others, and some are worse at certain things than others. But there's no one die that I would say outranks any of the others. Wouldn't you agree, AR?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. I like quite a few different dyes. I don't have any experience with Lee, but what I'm learning, they're for the money, you can't beat them. Now I do have a 223 factory crimp die, Lee, and I like it. I don't have no reason. I've got taper crimp 223. I don't use them. I just like the Lee. That way, it's not quite as picky as a taper crimp would be in 223. If you got your length off a little bit, you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
As much. So it just works better for me.
And what I do is what I'm doing right here is I run this bullet up in there in this die until it seats a little bit. When I first feel that bullet slide into that piece of brass, then I lower it and I'll turn it a quarter of a turn. And that's to ensure if that bullet isn't perfectly straight in there, the second time I bring it up slowly and engage it into the bullet seating stem, it will find that high spot and it will force it down and correct it. And I keep going smooth until it stops. And then I'll hold it for like a 3,000th count at the bottom just to prevent any sticking or the bullet wanting to move back out when I break it loose from the bullet seating stem.
Mm-hmm.
But then we'll go ahead and we'll throw it on the caliper here. Make sure they're zeroed.
Be back in 2 seconds. No, 3 seconds.
All righty. Okay, and it looks like this one's set it just a little bit deeper. 978, and I'm looking for 980. Let me see that I got that piece of brass perfectly centered on there. Yes, I do. Okay.
Got me a bunch of orange sherbet push-ups. My favorite since I was a kid.
Listen to you
sherbet
talking about
yeah, sherbet don't taste as good in a big old ice cream container, but it seems to be
okay.
good
That was 978 we just saw. Now I'm going up into the factory crimp, and that was 978 we had. So we'll see what we get after we roll it up in here. Hold it for a couple of seconds. Make sure we kill any of that memory. All right, come on out of there, girl. And you can even see the edge of that brass right there, where that went up inside that carbide ring, and it polished it, and it just made it took out any of that flaring that I had in the neck for that bullet. Completely gone now.
Now, what did it measure before?
978.
978 to. Let's see what this comes up as.
9795. 978. Hold on.
I can't.
9785. So I grew a half a thousandth just from running it in that crimp die. So I'll run another one to make sure that I've got that bullet depth set right. So what we'll do is we'll run. I put it up here to grab me a primer off of the first stage, which would be, resizing the brass. And it got me a primer right into the little doohickey. Then you go down, and as you go down, it slides up underneath it.
So how you liking the priming system so far on there?
It seems to be getting easier to use the more I use it. So I'm thinking maybe it was a little stiff at first, possibly from not being used. It seems to be working all right now. I mean, I've never used it before, but it seems to be doing the job. I'll let you guys take a look and see what you think. It's making them flush, a couple thousandths flush under the rim. I checked them with the micrometer.
Well, I'm asking because I may buy the primer thing too.
Yeah, the primer thing, you might as well buy it for this thing because it's cheap. I think I spent $25 for this, and it's just a little setup that works pretty decent for what all it contains. From all it is a few pieces of plastic. All right, so.
Michael Hurtnick wants to know how much was the press.
when I purchased this Lee press was a couple years back. This is my second one. Basically I paid 100 and like 10 or 15, maybe it was $120 or less. Now they've gone up quite a bit, but I know if you go from a reputable buyer like Brownells or Midway or Titan Reloading, you can get them for closer to where they should be priced in the $120, $130 range.
I'm seeing them for 130. Seeing them on some sites for Midway's wanting 150, basically 149.99 for it right now. At least a few days ago.
Well, the reason being is they get rushes. Midway, they'll start modifying their prices on items that are selling and moving. And they do that because they've got that sophisticated monitoring system that lets them know what products are moving and are selling quickly. So when they see that, they'll do price adjustments.
But somewhere around 120 to 30 range now.
Yeah. Which is pretty good because during the pandemic, when everyone started reloading, I saw the same press on a couple of third-party sellers on Amazon for over $170. They were like in the 189 range for a 4-hole turret, which is literally ridiculous.
A while back in the early pandemic, I think on eBay they were going for $300. Some people,
yeah, and you'll see people that had bought them at that price, but mostly they'll just sit there because people know better than to spend that kind of money.
Yeah.
You know, they know it's going to come back down relatively quick.
I just wish primers would hurry and get back in stock. I'm tired of this waiting game.
Yeah. I wish I had an extra pack of primers so that I wouldn't be so worried about.
I'll never let myself get caught like this again on primers.
Yeah,
I didn't on the powder. I did good on it. I mean, I'm set for powder.
I didn't. For a long time. I mean, I got powder. Don't kid me. You know, I'm not bullshit. I got some. You know, and I did all right on Varget, and it was only because of my friend that I did good on Varget. Because had he not said, "Hey, Dave, I'm standing here in a store that has 10 pounds of Varget. How many do you want?" And I was like, "Well, let me get 4." And he was like, "Dave," he's like, "this shit's gonna be gone." He's like, "Why don't you just buy them all?" And I'm just like, "Okay." So I bought them all. I did the same thing with him on primers. 41 RCBS 41s, and the only reason why I've got the amount of primers that I have in the rifle 41s is because of my buddy. He was like, "Yeah, I would recommend you go ahead and buy what they got because I got a weird feeling that they're not going to be around much longer." And he was right. And
yeah, I bought a box one day at a pawn shop because I knew they weren't going to be around much longer. I had one box of 1,000 small rifle. And I said, "I'll take it, $33 for it." At a gun store. I bought before the pandemic. I bought TAC 8-pound container, 159, I think, Powder Valley plus hazmat. Excuse me.
Here's a little something for you guys. Little information.
Now it's high.
They're not making 8-pound jugs right now. In other words, if you're looking for 8-pound powder jugs, if they're around, they were made before the pandemic. Right now, they're only running 1-pound jugs. They have no need to run the 8-pound ones and give you a little bonus discount because they can sell you 8 pounds in individual containers, and me and you would gladly take them. So they're only doing 1-pound jugs. So if you find something and it's in an 8-pound, it's something that's left over from before the pandemic. And so go ahead, if you need it, buy it.
I got I did get lucky maybe 4 months ago, 6 months during the pandemic. I got one jug of H335 8 pound came in stock, but that was the exception. There was no more at the store coming in.
Yeah.
And I come in when I walked in the store, it was all on the shelf there, and I knew they just got a delivery. I said, let me think about it a minute, and I said, I'll take it.
Let me think about it a minute.
Yeah.
It took him 3 seconds to make up his mind. Yeah, he's like, as now that I'm thinking about it, let me go ahead and take that.
That's pretty good powder for 5.56, actually. Of course, tack's pretty good. Highboy uses that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's that ram shot or the ram tack.
Ram shot. Yeah, ram shot.
Tack. It's the tactical stuff that Western powder does.
Yeah, tack they call
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, that's a good powder.
Good 308 too. Jamie one time said something about it. Did pretty accurate on 308 a while back in the stream.
There's another one. Let's see what this one comes out to now. Seven. So I had to move that back out.
Rick says I'm hurting on small rifle primers. I have a few small pistols.
Who is?
Rick's.
Yeah, I'm supposed to send him some damn rifle primers, but I haven't been able to get up to the damn thing. I got to send him some damn rifle primers.
Yeah, I got pistol ammo on rifle too. I don't have many. I got less now. I had total 2,000 rifle primers. CCI. What was it? A small rifle. They're not the 41.
Yeah, I've got 400 small rifle. That's just left over.
Oh.
But I don't have any I've got just the 41s.
Small pistol. I got the small CCI small pistol Magnum primer I'm going to use. I got a 1,000 large rifle, which was me 308 or whatever. It's going to last me a long time, I was figuring. I went back and picked up that Savage Ultralight again. Me and my brother went to the gun store the other day again. Man, I love that carbon fiber wrap barrel. I love that rifle. Yeah. Almost $1,400 though. With tax. You could literally go deer hunting and put it in another chassis and then go precision shooting with it probably. But I like it better than any Savage, and I like it too because you can change the headspace and barrels out on it because it's got that little locking grooved barrel ring on it.
Right.
Barrel nut, I meant to say.
The hell is that damn shell holder?
When I got into Tikka, I realized the only way you could change a Tikka was basically rethread a new barrel. I'm not going back to Tikka. I'm going to stick with rifles like Savage or Remington style platforms. Actions, I meant to say.
Yeah. I'm going to grab me a shot of insulin. Seems like my blood sugar is going ballistic. Affects my eyesight.
Uncle Jim's here. Hey, Uncle Jim, what's up?
Who's that?
Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
I like being off the frame of this video so I can sit here and watch the side chat better.
What is it?
I like not being on the screen where I can sit here and watch the side chat for you better. It's easier. I don't have to worry about what I'm doing. I can sit here and sip water and
Yeah, it's not as hectic when you don't have to do both jobs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, plus these two screens make it pleasure now. It really
Yeah, I'm
does.
going to do that.
I had it set up a while back last year that way, and I took it out. And I put in a 32-inch TV here and used it as an extra screen. Then it took up space, and I removed it. I got it over here on the dryer now, and I occasionally will watch on Roku. It's got a Roku player attached to it, and I'll watch a reloading video and I'll mute it sometimes, or a podcast, or tactical rifling, or whoever I'm watching at the time. Of course, I hadn't watched him in quite a while.
Yeah, I saw his show the other day. I woke up in the middle of the night, and YouTube. You know how you'll watch YouTube and fall asleep, and you'll be watching one series, like one show, and it'll just keep continue playing, and like by the time you wake up, it could be anything from more reloading stuff.
Night, Rick.
To just, hey, night, Rick. I'm going to get you those primers, Rick, as soon as I can, man. I just need to get out of the house. And I've been trying to get my vaccination. And I've been holed up because of the allergic reaction I've been having to other medication. So as soon as I can get out to do it. My cat. I think she's wanting to come in here and hang out. All right, so. All right, got that. Okay.
Uncle John says he does that every Saturday night.
He does what?
Falling asleep on the streams, I think. That's what he's talking about. Yeah.
It's really weird when you wake up to like some lady yelling at you and you're like, what in the hell's going on? It's like 6:30 in the morning and you're like, what is this? And you look up and it's like this workout video, like lady, doing the breakfast workout for like young people that are into that kind of thing. And I'm sitting there like, oh my gosh, I can't handle this. I'm like, this is way too much energy. The first thing in the morning before a cup of coffee. My wife comes in and she'll be like, oh, you're working out again? And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the workout videos. That's what I do. Mm-hmm. You guys would probably shit a brick if I had a ReLOADING podcast coming up at like 7:30 and you guys were like, oh, okay, he's going to be doing looks like 458 SOCOM. And then when you turn on, I'm in this workout outfit, and I'm reloading to the oldies.
I was in Sam's the other day. Boy, it was crowded in there. I couldn't believe the crowd.
I just remembered another step. Oh my God, my cat is screaming. She is so spoiled. She wants her daddy. Let me open the door so she can come in here. What is it? Silly cat. All right, I forgot to chamfer and deburr this piece of brass. So let me do that real quick.
He's doing 380, Uncle Jim.
We're doing the 380s. ACP, just like you. And let me tell you something, Uncle Jim. You weren't kidding when you said these little tiny cartridge casings and bullets are kind of a pain. I can't tell you how many times I've already cut myself just chamfering or deburring the outsides of these cases, running your fingers over those spikes. It's not very much fun at all.
Night, Michael.
Take it easy, Mike. Michael, have a good one, brother.
Thanks for dropping by. He's
Right,
always with us.
Yeah, he always comes over and hangs out. Good guy.
Hey, Curtis Long's here. Good to see you.
All right, we're throwing a little powder. Once we know we got
I don't know if it'd be safer on there. She's got Vanessa Kitty with the Lyman Brass Prep Center. Be safer to use on the tiny stuff.
Oh, I don't know. That might be just grind your fingers to the bone.
Yeah, I was gonna say hold on to the brass because if your fingers slip, woo.
Yeah.
I have the RCBS. I wish I'd got the Lyman.
Holy Jesus. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to do this.
When is Curtis coming back on again? You two gonna get together again?
Yeah. Me and Curtis are going to do some stuff. He's busy because he works.
Oh, okay.
And so he's not retired yet. So he's got a full-time job. So
you got that bullet
it's kind of hard getting him to.
Is that me or is that bullet crooked?
That bullet's crooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't you worry about my crooked bullet there, buddy, all right? You didn't hear me singing to her? Lady, lay down.
Vanessa, do you have a holder that keeps fingers? No, you don't. You have to just use the brass or the case prep centers with your fingers. But typically, you're doing on a case prep center, you're typically doing rifle brass, so you're okay. Now, granted, you are going to chamfer maybe and deburr the pistol, but
I gotta go see what my cat's doing because she's literally screaming at the top of her lungs.
And that chamfer and deburring can chew you up. You ain't careful.
You see what kind of length I'm getting here? So I just backed that bullet cedar out. Okay, now I'm 2,000ths tall. 2,500 tall. So what we'll do is we'll bump it a little bit. Make sure that's centered. All right.
Yeah, I was telling you, Echo, I'm out of debt, and I went on Sweetwater. I think they're out west, and I put I think $400 worth of stuff in a basket and sound equipment. I haven't bought it yet, but I'm sitting there, and I keep thinking about it.
Jesus, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So looking at a DBX thing, it does compression. It stops.
All right, that's what I want to see.
Let me see. 980.
Yep, that's what I want to see. 0.980.
Okay.
That's not nothing to shake a little diblet at.
Mm-hmm.
All right, now we're going to factory crimp. Okay. Basically, what we did.
Haven't prepped any 380 brass. Huh.
Oh yeah, you wait till you do it. You'll love it. You'll want to call me up. I'll give you my number so you can call me and tell me how much you like 380 so you can thank me.
Just sitting how I feel about it, but I'll never do 380 personally. I'm just not going to do it.
Hey, now listen, the only other cartridge I can highly recommend over 380, and I can really recommend this one, is for you guys to load 25 ACP.
Ooh.
Because those bullets, let me tell you something, those are fun to hold on to, especially when your fingertips start perspiring a little bit like you do in Florida, and you're trying to hold the bullet and straighten it, and you're like, my God, man, would you stop moving in my fingertips? Mm-hmm. Forget it. I reloaded 100 rounds for my father-in-law in 25. He's got a Beretta 25 caliber pop top, the kind that fling open. Yeah. The top pops open, it pops up, and pop break. Little semi-auto, and
she's got a question for you, Vanessa does. What firearm do you use in the 380?
I use a Glock 42 along with a Kimber Micro 380, which is basically a 1911 shrunk. And basically it looks like a little micro 1911. It looks exactly like one.
Does it shoot good?
Oh yeah, I get at 25 feet. I can shoot the center out of a target. It's that accurate. Wow. And it's more accurate than my 42 Glock, and that's why I think it's just more accurate, because the trigger is a little better, being a single action trigger. Mm-hmm. And now that I'm figuring out how this thing works, I've only spilt one primer, and I quite haven't found the primer yet. So I might only be able to get, instead of 100, I might only be able to get 99 or 98.
I found a couple in my floor the past couple of weeks that was good. I apparently dropped it one time or another.
See, that's a good fit. That feels good going in there. Mm-hmm. And I just put a little bit of pressure on her, make sure she ain't going to walk up in there any further. All right, nice. That's seating good. I'm liking that seating. I'm liking it. I'm liking it. I'm liking this this little system. I mean, I'm not in love with it, because you're not going to be breaking any land speed records here using this system. But if you had this press completely set up with a powder dispenser and everything, yeah, you could do it all. Mm-hmm. No problem.
Some like powder dispensers on presses and some don't. Seems in the reloading world.
Yeah, I've found that usually what I've found to be true is that the powder dispensers the problem here is, this is where your powder dispenser mounts up here on top of this die right here. The problem is, this is your rotating access plate. Instead of having a progressive, which has an entire shell plate that rotates down here, your entire turret rotates up here, which causes the powder dispenser to constantly be shaken and constantly compress loads. So the more you use it, the more compressed your loads get to a certain extent, the heavier your loads will be. So what I like to do is, if I'm using a turret, and what I'll do is I'll wait to fill all my cases at one sitting and leave it in single stage and pull up on them, however many, 50 to 100, and fill all 50 to 100 cases, and then go ahead and put a bullet in them and seat them on top, and then throw a crimp on there.
Yeah, I like to do that too, Uncle Jim. Drop powder in trays.
That's what I got sitting over here. He's talking about loading trays.
Yeah, I've never been fond of the Spencers on the single stage or the turrets that move like that or nothing. I say people do them on the T7. I think that's just, to me, a no, but that's me.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why progressive presses do not move. The powder measure does not move.
Night, CW.
It's who's going?
CW. Have a good one.
Okay, take it easy, CW. There's a reason why on the progressives that the top tower the tool head doesn't move.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, I still got my 5.56 on the press with my 100 primers in there. In the tube.
Yeah, I've still got stuff loaded up, ready to go. 5.56. I got 50 cartridges with primers in them, trimmed, waiting for powder and bullets. And I got the because I've got such moisture here, I don't like leaving anything primed out of the cardboard.
I'm gonna get me for this 650. I'm gonna get me one of those two heads that don't move and don't float. Kind of an upgrade in time. Actually, in a way, I'm glad I kind of got the 650 for 750. I kind of like it better, I think, in some ways. I do.
Some ways. What are you talking about?
The 650 over the 750. I don't mind that rotary dial priming system. The only thing I worry about, they claim they're not going to ever stop making parts for them, for the next decades. But when the demand stops, parts for 650s slows down, they'll quit manufacturing them in the future.
Yeah, of course they will.
Mm-hmm. And that'll be a problem one day.
Yeah.
Dylan may do it long. I'd say Dylan probably do it longer than most manufacturers. Just knowing them.
Well, because of the cost of the press, that's why.
Yeah.
They know that people spend a lot of money on that stuff, and they don't want to have to replace it every 3 years when they make a new model. So
I'd like to have the variable case speed case feeder though. Mine's just a 2-speed. But, I could put this online probably and sell it.
Oh hell yeah, dude! Yeah. You can sell that.
And then upgrade eventually. So. That sounds like those 3As are coming along good, though.
Yeah, I've only got one more after this one, and I'm gonna shut the stream down because I've got everything. I did all I got to do. It's 10 rounds, and pretty much shows that I did it. Now I just got to figure out just how to replicate it. And for some reason, this is giving me, this scooper is like giving me, after I was, that's what you get. You never compliment nothing. Never say nothing's good. That's what I'm at. Not in the middle of a video anyways. That's just bad news. Because it'll always give you shit towards the end.
You guys on the side, what are anybody reloading anything this week? I'm not. I mean, I'm kind of in the middle until I get some more gear here.
Yeah, because you can't prime.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can prime on the T7, which I hate, and prime on the 650, which is a lot more trouble. But yeah. But in time, I still got to get that.
Throw another primer in here while I'm waiting for this air conditioning to shut the hell off.
No, I think it's Andy with us. I didn't see Andy.
What now?
I didn't know Andy was with us. Let me see.
Is Andy still with us?
Andy. Somebody said something
79
about Andy.
Z28?
Oh no, it says K24 YouTube videos. Where's Andy? Where's at Andy? I don't see Andy. Let me scroll up.
I think Andy left.
Yeah.
But he may be there, but I thought he had said
I think
goodbye.
he goes to bed. Yeah, I think he goes to bed early on the East Coast.
It's definitely reload. It's definitely working a little better on these primers now. Seems to be, anyways. My shitty vision. So we'll run it up inside here. Get it ready for powder, and then hopefully that AC vent over my bench has shut off and stopped blowing the powder everywhere, or not everywhere, but
I got one of those plastic deflectors on mine, but it don't blow strong enough still.
yeah, it's got that too. Mine does, but it's just a pain because you got to lift it up and down and try not to hit and spill shit everywhere. Yours a Lyman?
Pardon?
Or is it at RCBS?
What did you say now?
What are you using? A Lyman or an RCBS? You got an RCBS, don't you?
RCBS what?
Powder dispenser.
No, I got a Reading 3BR. Yeah.
I got an electronic.
Oh yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, I got a 1500. Yeah. I didn't know what you was referring to.
Did you see the price of that new machine?
Oh yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna spend that. I'm gonna buy the lab grade if I'm gonna do that.
Well, my question is, what does it do that makes it so much more expensive? I mean, I'm a realist like most people.
Uncle Jim, when he says something, it should one of the best primer systems out there. What's that, Uncle Jim? Which is the best primer system?
I know there's that $600 one that's kind of high.
Just curious what he was talking about. What he was referring to.
I wonder what that RCBS thing does, though, because that thing's a fortune.
Yeah, I would never buy it. I don't think it's. They'd have to warranty it for 10 years before I would. At least lab
Yeah, it's
grade.
just very expensive. I don't quite understand how RCBS can keep making things that. I mean, literally, isn't that like $1,400?
No, I think about 900 something. Last time I seen it, it's been a while.
I thought it was. Yeah, but the list on it is 1,400 or 15.
Yeah, MSRP. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
You get it around 900. I haven't seen it on sale, but you get a lab grade scale. You're gonna like was it that I-120? You're talking about some high quality components, electronics in there. And RCBS is not going to put the top of the line electronics. They might have in that one because of the price. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, I don't trust Bushnell. I hate to say that, but they have done some really shitty shit in the past with companies they have acquired, and I'm just not real happy. I mean, if they could show me why it's the cost that much, and if it was that much better of a piece of equipment, I would buy it. I wouldn't have a problem with $1,500. You know what I'm saying? But it has to be a scale that works. It can't be something that I'm going to have issues, not the slightest issue, unless, and it's got to have firmware updates. In other words, I should be able to plug it in to the internet and flash the firmware and get an update directly from RCBS to correct problems in the future that they may come across, such as improved programming for finding out weight. Like if the program is modified in the future so that it detects changes in weight at a faster rate. Okay, I'm interested in that upgrade. I paid $1,500 or $1,000 for this thing that everybody else is charging $250, $300. So what do I get? That's what I want to know. They don't tell you. They just say it's one of these things that does the same thing that all the other ones do for a third of the cost. So why should I spend that much? They don't go into any of that.
Wished I bought that original Wahoo scale, a couple of them.
No kidding. Dude, I wish I would have ordered 1 million of them, like a container crate full of them, and I could just sell them to people who reload. That would be the only market I would get into. I'd be like, okay, you guys need another one? No problemo. Oh, no, that wasn't good. Oh, thank God for small little things. Holy shit. This is not what I needed to happen.
What happened?
I knocked off my freaking
primer system.
Yeah. And it would appear that I lost some primers when it hit the floor. As usual, I'm losing primers that I can't replace right now. That's enough to drive you to drinking right there. It's just ridiculous. It's a good thing my floors are spotless.
Yeah, I got to finish putting flooring down in my reloading room.
Okay, babe, I can't deal with you right now, okay? No.
Sound like 100 primers right there, so I have to get you a broom and sweep them up.
No, dude, it ain't that bad.
Okay.
Oh. It's just that I've got a bunch of shit going on all at once. I got a cat screaming at the top of her lungs in the background. That's going to piss my wife off.
Primer review.
And then I got knocked off primers, which is absolutely horrible in itself. Yeah, this has just turned into a nightmare. I should have probably just used the other machine that I was real familiar with, because when I'm doing these live streams, I bump things constantly because I'm working behind the camera or in front of it, kind of at a goofy angle.
Do you want to wrap it up now? Or you want
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, everybody, for coming out and watching me spill primers. My dumbass. But, yeah, thanks for coming out and hanging with us. We got 12 on right now. K24, James Pollard, Uncle John, Uncle Jim, Sergeant Bulldog.
Yeah, he's in here.
Hippa.
Hey, Bulldog.
go ahead and take us out, AR.
Yeah.
And,
Well, okay. Appreciate you all dropping by. I enjoyed it. It was a good stream. You all take care and have a good one. We'll catch you on the flip side. Night all.
take care, y'all. Have a nice evening.